This video is about how to choose the right sea kayak for you so you don't end up wasting time and money on a bad decision, and maybe even completely miss the essence of what sea kayaking is about. I'm going to start by asking a different question. What is the difference between a kayak and a small boat? It seems to me that any little boat that you propel with a double-bladed paddle is called a kayak. But I'm going to give you another definition, one that is more relevant to your experience on the water. I see a boat as something you get into that you can paddle around and use the force on the paddle to move the boat. But I think of a sea kayak as something very different. If you're just looking to get on the water to paddle around a bit, you don't need to keep watching this video. It's probably not for you. But if you're looking at the sea kayak because you want to explore and have the experience of feeling at home on the water like you belong there, or you want to see the beautiful coastline but not feel like an outsider, or you want to enrich your life by going on multi-day expeditions into the wild, if any of these are true for you, then this could be the most important video you ever watch. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about what got me into sea kayaking. I'll make it short, maybe you can relate. I've always enjoyed the wilderness. I always felt most relaxed in the forest or hiking in the mountains or snowshoeing. I always aspired to develop my skills so I could be more at peace in nature. It was never about man versus the wild for me, more like the opposite. Man belongs in the wild. I never felt like nature needed to be tamed. It always seemed perfect as it is. So what does that have to do with sea kayaking? When I moved to the West Coast, I was looking for a similar experience as I explored the nearby islands. And what I've learned over the years is that having that kind of experience is not just about getting any kayak. My definition of a kayak is something you wear to give you agility and ease on the water. With a good, well-fitted kayak, paddling feels easy. The kayak turns without any need to apply force, almost like it's reading your mind. Just a little movement of your pelvis edges the kayak, and it turns naturally. It's built into the design of the hull. With some skills, you have the agility to explore and keep yourself safe and feel right at home on the water, even when it gets a little rough. There's a joy that comes from moving with ease and competence. But it won't happen that way by accident. You need to learn a few things before you can be one with your kayak. So what kind of kayak do you need to get that experience? And to have the freedom to visit the world's most beautiful coastlines. With so many options to choose from, I can't get too specific, but here are a few considerations. The length. You'll be faster and go further with a longer kayak. If you plan to go the distance, and especially if there could be waves, you'll want a kayak that is about 16 to 18 feet long. A lot of people will prefer a wide kayak because it feels stable. At least that's how it feels in calm water. But here's the thing, when you take the wide kayak in the waves, that same stability that keeps it flat on the surface of the water will have a tendency to also keep it flat on the side of the wave. And that can actually make it almost impossible to stop it from capsizing. The kayak was not designed to be stable. The skilled paddler makes it stable with his paddle. And that's one of the reasons why which paddle you use is so critical. The Greenland paddle, which evolved with the kayak over thousands of years, is perfectly suited to give the paddler that quiet stability as you paddle. Why disturb the wildlife if you don't have to? If you don't feel stable, you won't enjoy yourself as much. And you won't have the option to go explore the last remaining wild places. It just wouldn't be safe. It's not a big blade that you can use to force and control. Instead, it encourages you to learn to move with less strength. And you realize that you can go much further, and it feels much easier and more gentle on the body. There's a hidden genius in the Greenland paddle that most people miss, and it gives it an unexpected ease that comes from efficient design. It directly translates into becoming competent much more quickly. A lot of people think learning to paddle a real sea kayak takes years, but I say if you learn with the Greenland paddle, and you learn the traditional techniques, most people can become quite competent in months, not years. The next consideration is the size. You may want the kayak to be big so you don't feel claustrophobic, but if you want to be able to move properly with your kayak, you need to wear it. What that means is you need to have a snug fit, but also be able to move inside the kayak to unlock the agility that only the kayak can give you. That's the genius of it. If you don't wear it properly, you can't move well with it, and you might as well be sitting in a boat. So make sure you can adjust the fit of your kayak to have it move with you. If you want to learn how to move with your sea kayak, I put a link in the description to a free lesson to get you started. Just sign up to get access. If you're serious about sea kayaking and you want to learn the traditional techniques, have a look at my website, dancingwiththesea.com. And thanks for watching.